Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to use diagrams in your either PowerPoint or on your worksheets or in an exam paper. I've been looking at a PowerPoint created by somebody, and it would have been really enhanced by better use of the diagrams. So I'm going to show you some tips today. Now I've downloaded these two diagrams. They're exactly the same from the internet. And they're diagrams of a rectangular prism. Now, when the teacher was talking about the base, he just said the base. And it would have been really helpful if we had been able to work out which of the surfaces was the base. You will find that the younger the children are, the less familiar they are with the terminology and also with just understanding what we mean by different words. So I'm going to show you something. Now I want you to have open on your screen this program called Paint 3D. I think it's part of the Office or Windows or whatever. And I'm going to open mine now, and you'll see what comes up. This comes up, and then it's going to say New. This is an amazing little program. All right, so now I've got this blank screen. Now I'm going back to where I was. Let me just move this thing at the bottom out of the way. I'm going back to my Word document where I had the diagram, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to minimize my Word document and go back here to the Paint 3D, and I'm going to right click and put paste. And there is my diagram. Now the first thing you'll notice is that you've got these squares around the edge, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click crop, and that will get rid of all the excess white. Now this is where you have to learn some little tricks. This diagram, the base we'll assume is this area here. Now I want to shade this, so what I'm going to use is this paint pot, and I'm going to be, because this is going on my PowerPoint, I'm going to use a nice color. I will use this, aqua. And I would like the base of this to be aqua. So I'm going to click here, and what has happened? Everything in that rectangle, it's actually the side that has turned out aqua. Now, why didn't it just stay in the base? You can see because it's got dotted lines. So what I'm going to do is we're going to leave the screen, and I'm going to go back to the original document, and we're going to see if we can't make a plan. Here's our Word document. What we've got to do is we've got to change these dotted lines into a solid line, but I want them to look dotted. So what I'm going to do a little cheat. I'm going to go to my pictures here, and I'm going to take my shape, which is a line, and I'm going to draw on here with this line. You can see it's black or dark blue. I'll make it black just to have it that way. And what I'm going to do is I've highlighted it. I'm going to press Control, and using the down arrow, I'm going to move it just below the dotted line, just below. And then I'm going to go to the shape outline, and I'm going to choose a suitable color. So I go to more outline colors, and I'm going to look for a sort of aqua color. There it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that line aqua. Then I'm going to copy that line, copy, and paste it again. Oh, I've copied the wrong thing. Okay, let's just get rid of this. I need to copy the aqua line, not the diagram. Now here we've got a problem because the diagram is in front of the line. So look at what I'm going to do. There are all sorts of little tricks you need to learn. I'm going to go to Format, and I'm going to go to I want this to go backwards. Now it's not doing what I want it to do, so I'll have to try another little trick. I'm going to go and I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to go to wrap text. Now the first thing I want to do is I want this to go behind what I'm doing. So I'm going to click behind. And then hopefully I'll be able to click on this blue line that up there it is. You see now the blue line is in front of the diagram, not behind it. So I've clicked on it and I'm going to copy and paste it. There's a second one, and I'm going to put this blue line down the side here next to that dotted line. You've got to make sure that it goes right and meets the solid lines that there are. So these two aqua lines need to meet. All right. Now there they are. This one's sticking out a little bit. All right. Now I want you to watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to group that line. So I hold down Shift and I click on that line, and then I'm going to click on that diagram. And then I'm going to use group. Now, if you haven't put group into your row of thingies here, what is this thing called? The quick access toolbar. If you haven't put it there, then you'll need to go to format and you'll need to use group from up there. Okay, right, well, I'm in a group. Now I've got one image, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, go to home, copy, and then I'm going to go back to my 3D and I'm going to use it here. Now, I don't particularly want this, so I'm going to tell it I want the menu. I need a new document, and I don't want to save it. So now I start again. Now I'm going to paste. Let's see what happens this time. I think there's going to be a problem because I think that blue line isn't there. Let's see. Right? We're going to crop again. This is how you learn. You keep trying and you try and you learn. Now I'm going to copy, fill it up with paint. I'm going to go there and I'm quite happy with that color. Okay, so I'll go here. Now the same thing's happened because it's leaked through there. So we're going to have to go back and look at our original again. Here we are. And ladies and gentlemen, this is how you learn. You keep doing things until they work. Okay, now let's look at this thing here. I don't know what happened to that other line. So I'm going to have to do another copy and paste. Copy, paste. There it is. Now I'm going to put it here. I obviously deleted it last time instead of not deleting it. All right, now let's try for the third time. If you knew how many times I've tried things before I got them right, you would be amazed. Right, now I'm going to group that. There we are. Group. Okay, now they're all there. Now let's try again. Copy the diagram. Go back here to my 3D. Start again. I can actually, I think, undo this. Yes, I can. There we are. All right. Paste. Have we got our blue line there? Yes, we have. Right, so we're going to crop. There we are. And we're going to use that. And we're going to use our aqua. And we're going to go here. And let's hold thumbs that it works. There you are. And I need to shade in that. And so now all I've shaded is the base of this shape. And you could do the same thing with all the other surfaces as well. I can show you lots of things on here. For example, you could shade this and this, but you would need to then cover your line. You've got to make that dotted line solid. So pick your color and then you can put it in there as I did over here. I think that's rather neat. Right, now we haven't finished. Now we're going to save this. Menu, save as. You're going to save it as an image. And when you are working like this, if you're doing this on a PowerPoint, you need to choose where you save this. Don't just save it any old where. You might have a folder on in your computer that says maths diagrams and you save it. Now look at what it's called here, untitled PNG. So I'm going to save this as a rectangular prism, base shaded. All right. Now I'm just going to save it here because, well, no, I shouldn't. I should look for a proper place to save it. What I generally do is where I'm doing a project, I keep everything together. So maths photos, maths pictures. There we go. So now I'm going to put a new folder here, and I'm going to call this folder 3D shapes, diagrams. Where's the 3D shapes, diagrams. All right, so I've got this little thing now that tells me, right, and I'm going to put it in here. All right, now I've got this diagram and I've got it for good. And what I often do when I'm doing something like this, I then will do a whole lot. So I'm going to now go back to my diagram, my original diagram here that I had in my Word document. And I want to show you something here. Do you see this diagram is moving? That's fine. It's because I have actually edited it a bit. But this one isn't easy to move. And here I need to right click on it and go to wrap text. That wrap text thing is very important. I generally work with them on tight because then you can move them wherever you like. But when you want to work with layers, you're going to have to use the part of this that tells you whether to put it in the front or the back. What have I done here? I'm moving it. I'm just trying to show you stuff. All right, now here's another little tip. I've taken this one off the internet, and it's got 6 different diagrams on it. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I've got a shortcut. I'm going to make it tighter. I can move it around, and then I'm going to copy and paste it. I've done it 5 or 6 times. Yes. Why did I do that? Because watch, right click, crop. I don't want a thing with 6 on. I only want each one of those. So there's my first one. And I go over here to format and I click on here, which compresses the picture. In other words, what it does, I'm just using the default. All that's there now is that one little picture. There's nothing else. Now look at this one. Now we're going to keep the pyramid on the top line. So we right click and we crop and we take away all the stuff we don't want. And we go there. Now I want you to look at all this gray area. I'm going to click off it. But as soon as I go back onto this and I right click and I show crop again, all of that gray stuff is there. So even though you've chopped it off the picture that you see, it's still in your diagram and it's still taking up space on your laptop. That's why it's quite important when you're cropping to get rid of all that. Now watch what happens. It's going to ask me. I generally just go for email because that's the smallest pixels, and I click OK. Now if I right click on this and I go crop, come on, where's the crop thing there? You're going to see that all the rest of it's gone. So what I will do eventually is that I'll take each of these and save each one separately. So now here is my pyramid, and I know that I'm going to want to, let's move this out of the way down here because we want to enlarge it. Hold down the shift and then it'll enlarge properly. I want to shade each one of these sides a different color. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use a thin black line here to cover up those holes. Here it is. I go there to there. That's still blue, so I'll make it black. All right. You won't really notice this in the diagram, but it'll definitely keep your little bits apart. Now you can do this 2 ways. I'll just copy and then I'm going to paste it. I need 1, 2 more, 1, 2. So here we go, and I'm going to go up there and down to here, and then I'm going to go here in the corner. Make sure that they all meet, because if they don't meet the solid lines, you're going to get color bleed. Okay, and what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to group those three. There they are. Where's my group? There. Okay, I've grouped them, and those three lines, if you move it, you can see. Now here's a little tip. Let's say you're working on this and you move it and you think, oh, I'll never get it back in place. Yes, you will. You're going to use the back arrow and it'll put it back where it belongs. Then I'm going to join it to the original diagram. So again, I'm going to group. All right, now you can see the lines are in the front. They will work when we get onto the color page. So let's copy that. And then we're going to go back to the 3D and menu. I want a new one. I've already saved this, so I don't need to save it again. And now I'm going to paste my diagram. All right, now we're going to crop it. And I don't actually want that stuff at the top, so I'm going to click crop again, and it comes up with these round dots, so I can actually get rid of these. You can see this diagram is actually quite fuzzy, and that's because we've enlarged it quite a lot, but that's all right for now. Okay, now let's try. We've cropped, so let's just do done. Okay, now we're going to color in. Let's start with the front face. What color should we make that? Let's make it yellow. Right, there we are. Now watch what happens. I'm going to fill in the front face, and it's yellow. And then I'm going to fill in this side face, and we'll make that one blue. Okay, so I'm going to go there and there. Now you can kind of see that that's two sides of the triangle, of the pyramid. You can see that. The back part and that part are different. So what we could do is we could leave that one yellow. Now we're looking at other ways of showing these diagrams. What I'm going to do is make the back dark and the front light. So let's leave that portion yellow. Let's now do the back triangle. See, it's gone blue because I clicked on it. Okay, and so is that. That's how you do a background. Now I'm going to undo all that. All right? Remember, undo is a very useful thing. Now we want to shade the right-hand side, but it's hidden. So we're going to make that dark, and we'll just do that piece. Then we're going to do this back one, and we'll make it green. And there it is, and there it is. Now you can see the back. Now what I will do the base. Let's have the base. Let's make that yellow. There and there. Now you can see the two reverse sides of the pyramid. And if you want to use this in a diagram for children, we're going to save it. Now look at that funny little bit at the top there. Can you see? Is that supposed to be blue or green? I think it meant to be green. So I'm going to go back to the green, and I'm just going to click in there and fill that in. There it is. Okay, right, now we're going to save. Menu, save as, image. And I'm going to save it here again, only this time it's going to be a pyramid. Pyramid, far sides shaded. Save. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that. Don't ask me how. It'll be here somewhere, down here. Maths diagrams. I have to go and look here. OneDrive. Where was I? Here down here somewhere. You see how important it is that you save your stuff properly. Maths, pictures. I think that's where I put it. 3D shapes, diagrams. No, that's not it. I thought that's where I'd put it. Maths stuff. No, I don't want that. I've lost it. Okay, I should have saved it in the right place. Right, now if this happens to you, don't panic. Just go back here. Menu. Save as. Image. Now I need to find the place where I'm going to save it, and I didn't do it properly. All right, so I'm going to go back, maths pictures. Here we go, 3D shapes, diagrams. What's the thing called? Pyramid. Back shaded. All right, save. All right, now I can find that. Let me just minimize this. I can find that now. There it is. Copy. Paste. I'll just use this sheet that I'm using. Okay. And this is also irritating when you have to go down and your stuff all moves, but I'm not dealing with that now. I'm going to paste this diagram here now. There we are. All right, now if I were using this, what I would do in order to show the front, I would shade it with lines. So I would go back to this thing here, and I would take this and just shade it. Draw lines across. Copy, paste, 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 paste. And I'm going to have to make them a different color because I can't see them, but that can happen another way. All right, so then you're going to paste these things across here. Now, can you see what's happened? They've gone behind. So I right-click on here, and I go to wrap text, and I'm going to tell it to go behind the text. Now I can find my lines. Or else I can work on it like this. I want to make these lines thicker and a color that I can see. So I'm going to highlight each of them. This is quite fiddly when you get to do it. Come on. There you are. I'll just do it with one. Now, if I'm going to work on this, I'm going to go to Format, and I'm going to go to the Shape Outline. I'm going to change the color to red, and then I'm going to go back to the Shape Outline, and I'm going to go to Weight, and I'm going to make this really fat so that it shows up. All right. Now I can see that I don't need all those, so I'm going to actually copy and paste this one. Home, copy, paste, 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 paste. All right, now we can use it. You just put it on this side of the pyramid. There you are. You can fiddle with it just now, and then you can make this side red stripes. And it means that a person gets a far better visual image of what you're working with. Now, I've been fiddling with these kind of things for years, and I've tried to, as I've gone along, learn shorter ways of doing everything and better ways of doing them. I haven't yet learned how to make them all exactly parallel, but that you can do by eye. Sometimes you just have to. So you'll see here that now we can see that this side of the pyramid is slightly different. I expect have shaded it a slightly different and a lighter color, but I don't know how I could then get the dark through the light. There are other ways of doing it, and I think for now I'm going to stop because I think we've had enough in this video, but you could actually make a shape on top of that. Perhaps I'll show you on this side. If I want to color that a lighter shade. So what I can do, I can go here and I can get a triangle, and I'm going to make that triangle fit over this one. That's a little bit of a problem because you've got to get it right. Turn it and get those bases the same. There you are. Then this is quite a fiddle when you work with it. That's why you need to use the control and the up and down arrows. And then I'm going to make this line. I'm going to take it up. You see there. Now I'll have to pull this over as well. And you've got to keep going with this until you get it right. Okay, now that's more or less right. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to change this color, shape, fill, and I'm going to make it quite a light color. Maybe that. Now I'm going to do something that is great. I'm going down here. I've right-clicked on it, and I'm going to format shape. and I'm going to go to fill, and see this here, this transparency. Now I'm going to change it. At the moment it is not transparent, but I'm going to change the transparency level. And can you see that you can now see that this front has a color, but you can see through it to the back? I use this transparency thing such a lot. You can decide if you go right to the end, it's not there. So you can make it as opaque or as transparent as you like. So we could do that with the front here. Instead of putting these red lines, we could have covered that with another dark color like that. All right, I'm going to stop there, and hopefully you'll be able to make use of this. Bye for now, Elaine.